Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Micks Mowers. I've got my little Riley boy here. He's just had his hair cut. Looks kind of cool, like it?
Yeah.
He's actually a really good boy having his hair cut today, so super happy with that, aren't we, Riley?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Just put the heating on. Come on down. We're going to go and do the Masport today. Full service on that, and needs to have a new pull cord because the pull cord is very short, or I think it is. So we're going to be doing spark plug, blade sharpen balance, oil change, pull cord, done the air filter already, just a general tidy up. I want to give it a quick run to get the oil out of it. And also I want to show you how the haterette is now running, because some of you guys may not have seen the haterette now running with the fourth blade attached to it, which came very soon after I'd ordered it, because they only gave me 3 blades, not the 4, or 3 bolts, but not the 4. So I'll run the haterette up, give that a quick run so you can see how it's not shaking or what have you. That's nearly finished, and then we're going to get on and do the service on the Masport. So without further ado, let's get down and dirty and let's service this lawnmower. Right, first of all, I'll get the haterette out. So there's the haterette all finished off as you've seen before. Just going to fire it up. It's not been fired for about a week, but now I have finished this engine, and it just needs to have a few touch-up parts just on the bolts there. Need touch-up, that's it. But now that the fourth blade is now fitted, it shouldn't shake at all. So let's just fire this one up. Okay, so no shaking at all now on that on full throttle, which is lovely, and it started second pull, so very happy with that. So now let's have a quick look at this Masport. I need to fire that up, get it nice and warm so that the oil is nice and thin. Just to let this one run for about 2 or 3 minutes, just warm it up. Right, that's now been run up for about 3 or 4 minutes, so the oil is now nice and thin and warm. Which is what we want. So oil dipstick come out, and I like to lower it down a touch. Just 2 seconds, mate. 2 seconds, buddy. Yeah, just want to try and get the oil in there.
Okay.
Alright, now you can do it. Right, well, where you go then? Pump that away, Riley boy. Turn it off, fire down a touch.
Can I see?
That's it, pump it away. So what we do is we're going to take the oil out once Riley boy gets pumping, and then once it's completely emptied, we come back, and then we can start to have the blade off and all that sort of good stuff. So give us 2 ticks and we'll be back. Right, that's all the oil. I had to tip the lawnmower up. That's all the oil now out of this machine. So I want to remove the spark plug HT lead and put a dipstick to one side. So now it's now safe to lift the lawnmower up on its side. In fact, I'll put a dipstick back in it. That way I won't forget it. So now it's safe to put the lawnmower up on its side. There's no oil. There's petrol in here. So no oil. So we tipped up on its side, just like so. It's a bit too far for where I'd like to normally have it. I'll have it about there. I'll reposition the camera and I'll come back. Okay, so now we're back. 40mm sockets on here. The blade actually doesn't look too shabby for what it is, for the age of the mower. But I will be putting a new edge on it anyway. I just whacked a 14mm socket on. So put that on onto number 3. And that come off rather easily, which is nice. It's the original blade, which is good. I think I might do the same as what Martin Butler said. So he removed his clip off of here because it just caught on there. So it does get caught up, this thing. So I might remove that and put it to one side. All right, that's the blade and the bolt. Let's have a little look. Yeah, it's not too bad. There is an edge, but it wants us tidying up. It's a bit of a funny blade on this, but it's what it was back in the day. Not much of an uplift. So that'll have a new edge put onto there. So I'll put that to one side on my vise for now, and we can come back and do that a bit later on before it goes back on. I just use a flappy disc just to grind my blades to put them back to where they need to be. So that's okay. There's a little bit of debris just caught up inside, which is no biggie, just a bit of string. There's no oil leaks off of the bottom oil seal, which is good. So I'm just going to tidy up this bit of string stuff. Take me no more than 2 seconds just to do that. There it is. It doesn't actually need a clean under here. It's all pretty good. There's a little bit of grass, but actually it's quite clean for what it is. And this is an alley deck, so overall I'm quite pleased with the condition of it. So that's that. Get rid of that. So now that's off, we can now turn our attention to the pull cord and the spark plug. So we just tip the lawnmower back down onto its wheels. And let's reposition you guys. There you go. So I'm going to take the spark plug out next with the old spark plug spanner. That's just around the front. Take that out. Now it's actually not a bad spark plug, that one, so I'll keep that for a spare, for a test. But as I'm selling it on, I want it serviced, so I need to have a new spark plug put in it. Right, that's now been gapped. Brand new NGK B2LM going straight into there, which is the right plug for it. So that'll help massively, because it was just it had a little bit of a miss. So I'm hoping it's not the coil. And I'm hoping it's just going to be the spark plug itself. So what I'm going to do now is, whilst I've got the mower at this side, I want to take this muffler off, only because it just looks out of place. The rest of the engine is all black, and that's silver, and I think that's going to look better with it being all the same colour. So I just want to grab a quick punch or a drift of some description, and you've just got to bend these little tiny tabs off just so you can get a socket behind it. In fact, that one's actually loose, just saw that move. And let's put a socket on that. Right, the next job is a pull cord. Now, as you may see, when I pulled this pull cord last time, it only comes out about 3 compression strokes, which is no good to me at all. So I want to have a slightly longer compression stroke on it. And we can do that just by changing the pull cord. It's very simply done. Put a screwdriver in here just to pop these covers up. There's about 3 or 4 tabs just to remove. That comes off. And then up inside here, you'll have 1, 2, I think it's 4 bolts to remove. They should be about an 8mm. Somewhere along the line, is it 8mm? Yeah, it's 8mm. Let's see what that is. Yeah, 8mm. I'm just going to remove that top cover, because this is all one fuel tank on here. So just very quickly loosen them off. It's free to do. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. Let me just grab my forceps, just so I can retrieve those bolts out without dropping them. I can't get my fingers in there. Good. Right, with that now removed, you can now spin the lawnmower around around this way, and I'm going to just tap off the fuel line. Tap that off, and I also want my screwdriver to remove the airbox cover. There's a brand new filter which I put in the other day, just to give you a bit more exposure. And now you should, I've got to disconnect that one, so you're going to have to reset this throttle again, but that won't be no biggie because I've already reset it once. So take that off, put that to one side, disconnect the throttle. Right, so there's one more bolt left, which is right down here in the depths, which should be another 8mm, I think, if I can find my ratchet on the other side. This is why I want one of them tool trolleys and put it all in one place. I know exactly where it all is. Is that an 8 or a 10? Could be a 10. 10mm. Which is right down here. Loosen that one off. Now that'll have a little spacer on the inside of it, so just watch where that spacer goes. There's the bolt. Now there should be a little spacer there somewhere. There is on the other ones. There's not on this one. Okay. So now we can remove this fuel line very gently. Just tear that fuel line off. A bit of fuel will come out, to just be ready for it. There it goes, tip it back. And that's the fuel tank removed with the fuel inside it, so you're not losing any fuel. That's good, and now that exposes the pull cord assembly on this machine. What have you got? So Nana's just come in, bless her little heart. What you made me?
Tried out our new thingy.
Tried out our new thingy. What's a new thingy?
George Foreman.
George Foreman. We've got a new George Foreman toaster sandwich. Cheers, Nana. Thank you very much. It's going to taste yummy. Wasn't expecting that. You're right, getting down the step. I'll have to get you a lift, won't I?
Or another step would do.
Or another step would do. I'll get something sorted. Thank you, darling. Oh, yummy. Yummy. Excuse me. Right. Bolts to remove. 2 3/8 at the front. God, it's hot. One here. And there should be one there, but it's not. So, let's now remove these ones. They're well on there. Oh. This is when they snap. That one there, that'd probably be an 8mm on the top. Yeah, that'd be an 8mm, because it just has to be difficult. There you go. Right, that's them all loosened off. So I'm just going to run these bolts off now. So this 8mm here, which holds the oil filler on, that then just comes off, lifts out, and does that. Pretty much. And then we've got these 3 10mm, 2 on the front, and should be 2 on the back, but it's missing one, so take that off. One over here. On these type of engines, I don't like to use my impact because I've been on there a little while with these bolts. I don't mind doing them up with the impact, but not undoing them. And there's the pull cord. Let's see how much we got on there. Yeah, not a lot. Probably got about, best part of about 3 foot of pull cord, so that's nowhere near enough. Pull cord is all working fine, the dogs are coming out. So let me grab a new bit of pull cord and I'll come back and I'll show you how to rethread that. Right, I've had some questions about what pull cord I use. For most of my lawnmowers, I use this one, not affiliated, Rockwood pull cord, and this is the 3.5, I think it is, or 4mm, this one. I do also have a 4.5 as well, which I tend to use for more like generator sort of stuff. So what we're going to do, make sure you've got a lighter on you first, which I do have. And we're going to pull this pull cord out all the way. We're then going to get a screwdriver or something thin and pop it down in the hole provided. So the Torx bit, once that pull cord's pulled all the way out, put a Torx bit down inside the screwdriver housing, something like that, and that way it won't slip on you. You can then retract the pull cord out, and with a pair of snips we can now cut that off. Now I keep all my old bits of pull cord because it's just handy just for tying stuff up and all that sort of stuff. So I keep all my bits of pull cord. Put that to one side, and we want to retrieve the little tiny bit of pull cord out of the handle, which will be with a pair of long nose pliers, or needle nose as they call them. That comes out. So that little bit of string, I just keep it one side because it's just handy just to have stuff to tie back. Right, the next thing I want to do is, I believe that this pull cord has snapped over time. I'm going to take the Torx bit out and just give it a couple more turns. Don't let go of it because it will bite you. So give it some turns and you'll feel it. Don't go too mad, you'll feel it just when it gets to about its maximum. It's about 6 or 7 turns generally. It's getting there now, I can feel the tension coming on. So you want to line it up with the hole, which is around this side. Yeah, that's about there, don't go no more than that. So line it up with the hole that is corresponding here to here. Okay, line that up, and then get your Torx bit and just find a hole in the vent just to put that in, and that's roughly lined up. Okay, so that's now sprung and ready to go. We're now going to get our pull cord. I buy mine, I think it's about 100 meters at a time. I don't muck about with just buying little bits. Just buy it off a roll. You get off Amazonian. I buy it by about 100 meters. Burn the end of it. Give it a bit of a twist up, just to seal the old end. Take some off the roll, and then what we're going to do is we're going to thread that through, and then through the hole in the on the pull cord assembly. You may have to move the screwdriver so you can get it in, but I've just got enough through there now. I can just about see the end of it. I'm going to grab my forceps and I'm going to try and get hold of that little burnt bit, like so. So keep the screwdriver in at all times. Now's not the time to remove it. And I put a knot in there. Now Brucey Pinder, when he does it, he puts a knot in it and then he pulls it on his vise. That's what he does, but I just pull mine with my hand. Nice big knot, bigger the better. And then snip it off, tidy it up. And I burn the end of that as well, just to stop any fraying. That's cool. And now you can pull that knot back all the way, make sure it's well seated, and now with keep hold of a pull cord, remove your screwdriver, and then that will then wind back to where it wants to go. Now before you cut this, you just want to make sure that you're getting the full use out of the coil on the spring. So what I do is I pull mine all the way out, like so, and then I get a rag, because this will burn, and I'll just get hold of a cord, and I'm just stretching it, just taking all the flex out of the cord. That's all I'm doing without getting tangled up. Just run your fingers up it all the way up, let it feed down, and run it all the way up. Now there's no science in that. It literally is the cord has not been stretched yet, and you're going to be pulling on this to start the engine. So this is just taking the slack up, and you'll get a little bit more cord in your pull cord system. So that's nearly there. It's still feeding in. That's about where it wants to be. Let's see how much we've got them in now. Let's pull that all out. We only had about 2-3 foot last time. we've probably got best part of about 5 foot now. Yeah, about 5 foot of cord, which is cool. So that all goes in. Over time, it will get even more in there. So just keep pulling it until you get roughly to the end of where the spring is holding it. It's going to be about there. It's still taking it in. It's going to be about there. You can always adjust it later on. Cut it off like so. Get rid of your pull cord. That can go to one side. And now we can re-thread our pull cord handle. Burn the end of this off. Like so. Give that a bit of a twist. The narrower the better. Pull your cord out. Thread that up through. This is where it's a bit tricky, because you've got to try and retrieve it from the other end. But with a pair of forceps, or what you can do, you can put a little tiny bend in there. Little tiny bend, and then heat that up as well. And it just makes it go more rigid. It just makes it bend over naturally. Like that. I say naturally, you're burning it, but you know what I mean. Push that in now. And when that goes up to the top, it will naturally want to sneak around that corner. So once you've got to sneak around the corner and you can fish it out, give it a bit of a twist up and what have it, it will come. So I found the best method for this, because that's quite a tight hole, is these medical forceps. You can push it all the way down the hole. You can just grab hold of that cord, just clamp it off and pull it through. That's the best way to. These medical forceps are brilliant. If you haven't got a set, Amazon or eBay, couple of quid. Again, no affiliate links, it's just what I use. Tie that in a good sized knot. That can come all the way back. That ain't going nowhere. And then I've just tied a knot just down here, just to stop it from coiling back on me. Take that knot out. Like so. Done. And that's that pull cord. It's nearly retracted back. We can adjust it, but as I say, the more pulls you're going to give this, the chances of that actually going in all the way, it will do over time. So I think that's actually about right. So I'll leave that be for now. I may have to adjust it a bit later on. Well, that can go back on. The core looks good. It's got a good gap on it. I'm not going to adjust that and leave it be. This can now all go back on somehow. The magnet's pulling it to one side. Out's going there. Right, replace the 3 10mm bolts. I'm going to try and find a 4th one, and the 8mm for the oil filler, and that's a pull cord assembly done. Okay, and I actually found another bolt to put on that that last side there. So that's had the 4 bolts now put on it. Pull cord is engaging, which is good. We can now bring back in the fuel tank. I was just going to put the pull cord over top first and connect up your fuel line. As you do it in one foul swoop, that all goes down together, and it'll find its home. And there's one bolt to go, that long bolt to go in there first. That will stabilise the tank. That'll be the 10mm. Mistake made. I've got to do the oil filler first. I just spotted that little mistake. Where's the old? There it is. I just want to wind in that 8mm quickly. I'd rather find a mistake now than later. That one there. 8mm socket. I'd rather do that now than later on. I don't mind leaving my mistakes in my old videos. All filler cap off, that goes over top, that goes back on top. Okay, and then we can then put that 10mm in, which is the one that goes underneath the tank. It's going to be a bit fiddly and my head's going to be in the way, just until I locate it. Go about there. Get my 10mm. Run that down into there. Just start it off. Once it catches, I'll be alright. run that one in. That's that one hooked up. That's the tank nearly secured. You can now hook up your throttle. Mustn't forget that. I'll let it go in the hole. My tummy's rumbling now, but I just had half a toasty. It was yummy. And I was not expecting Nana to come down with a toasty. We've got the 8mm bolts now to put back in, which are the 8mm bolts that go on top of the flywheel. On top of the pull cord assembly, sorry. And they just literally sit inside here. There's 3 of those to do. So don't forget that I also do live streams as well, which I do on a Saturday evening, 6 o'clock UK time, about 6 till 10, somewhere in there. So if you want to join me on the live stream, feel free to turn up about 6 o'clock. If you just whack the old bell notifications and set them to all, you'll get a notification saying I'm live. And you come up on the panel, you can ask me questions, you can tell me what I'm doing right or wrong, all that sort of good stuff. So feel free to come on up and come and visit me. It'd be nice to see you. Right, pull cord's now done. We can now fit that little tiny plastic cover, which is this one. It's nice to see lots of these engines don't come with these covers anymore, but people lose them. But it's nice to see it have a cover. This helps towards a resale. Right, happy with that, and that pull cord's nearly going back. I'm convinced it will do. So that's good. I now want to set the throttle so that we've got it to choke. So set the machine to choke up the top of the arm, and then pull this lever back so that this choke flap actually chokes, which is down here. You'll see the flap close. So let's just literally loosely fit that for now with my screwdriver. And this was a problem why the machine didn't want to start in the first place. Right, so it's set the choke up the top, flap is open, so pull it all the way back till it chokes. Just get hold of that cable and just pull that cable back so it's happy in the choke position. And then nick that one up. Now I'm going to do the air filter, which is brand new, brand spanking. That goes on, that goes on. And a little tiny flat-headed bolt goes into there. So far we've done new pull cord, new spark plug that's been gapped, new air filter. We've had a carburetor clean anyway in the last video. So now it's time to do a blade, sort the blade out. I've got all the height adjustments up, all that sort of good stuff. We'll come back and then we'll fill it all up when I come back to you. Okay, blade now sharpened and balanced. Nice new edge on there, doled off on the back, on there as well, doled off on the back. So that's cool. Need my 14mm, pardon me, bit of croaky throat still. Need my 14mm socket and the blade bolt. Now I do, I can't do the muffler because I'm out of heat resistant paint. I thought I had some, but obviously used it. So blade goes back on. It only goes on one way. It's got a special blade adapter for it, which I'll probably end up fighting with for the next 3 hours. I can loosely fit the bolt up into the blade boss. Let's do that up. Okay, that's that on. I have to fight now for an hour to get that socket off of that boss. So let me do that, I'll come back to you and then we'll move on. Okay, that's the muffler put back on. Now it's time for the oil. Let me grab my funnel and the oil. I should have just about enough to do the oil. I'm hoping. If not, I'll be down the shop job, but I think I've got enough to do it. Need to order some more up. But there should be enough here. Just to see it through. or at least as a starter anyway. I'll let that run in. I'll be back in 2 ticks, but I am quite low, but I might have some more oil somewhere, so I'll let that run in and I'll come back to you in 2 ticks. Right, let's see if I've got enough oil in here to at least fire it up. I think I should have. It was about right. It was about the right amount. It's just over 3/4, so that'll be enough just to run it. And I'll put some more oil in it before it gets sold on. Yeah, just over 3/4. That's a full mark where the top of my nail is, and that's where it is just there. So it's nearly there. That'll be enough just to run it though. So happy with that so far. What have we done then? So we've done oil change, new port cord, new spark plug, new air filter, reset the carburetor again, and good to go. Blade sharp and balanced, all that sort of good yummy stuff. One quick clean over, one quick blow off the air compressor. We'll take it outside, give it a fire and see if it's improved it, and hopefully that's that project now finished. Right, and there it is, all finished, all done, all tidied. Looks pretty clean for what it is. To say it is an old girl, but hopefully it'll do some return. And don't forget, this mower come to me for free. So let's give it a fire, see if it runs any better after it's had a full service. There you go. Doesn't run too bad, but don't forget this is quite an old girl. It's running better than what it was. It's got a little bit of a miss on it. It could be a carburetor again. I may take the carburetor back off to be cleaned, and also I may take the coil off and give the coil a bit of a clean too. But all in all, I'm quite pleased with it. It starts up pretty well. That pull cord will retract fully once it's been pulled a few times. I'm not overly concerned about that, but all in all, I'm quite happy. Right, Masport all done. And super happy with it actually. It runs pretty well for an old girl. It is 1980, so it is knocking on. But for a free lawnmower, it should turn a pretty penny, hopefully. So that's it. I'm going to now start to list some of my mowers because I'm just hearing people around me, they're cutting grass already and it's only just January. So I'm going to start to list mine and get mine out. I've got some chainsaws, I've got some generators, I've got all sorts to go out. So hopefully I should be in with the money and then start to pump that back into the channel as soon as possible. Next up on the old bench will be a hater, which came to me as a job lot. I think I paid about £30 for a job lot, some of which you've already seen, but this hater has been sat in the back of the shed doing nothing. I need a box for it, that's next. But I don't even know if the engine runs yet, so that'll be next. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe. There's the icon just there to tell you to subscribe and to set your notifications to all on your bell. That way you'll be told that I've released another video, or in fact I'm on my weekly live stream on a Saturday night from 6 o'clock till 10, where you can come up on the panel, ask me questions, tell me what I'm doing right, tell me what I'm doing wrong, all that sort of good stuff. So hopefully you'll join me on that on Saturday night. So thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Micks Mowers. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you found it informative. If you did, you know what to do, give it a thumbs up. And in the comments section down below, let me know what you think, where it went wrong, where it went right, and what you think of the whole process. So thank you very much for joining me. Hope you did enjoy it, and I'll see you all again next time on Micks Mowers. Until then, don't forget people, take her easy.